Perfect. All right, and I will turn the stage over to Allison Kavalukas in the Career Center. As a reminder, the Q&A is open, so type us any questions you have throughout our time together. I may type you back a response, or I may push it for Allison to answer live. Um, and I think that's it. Allison, it's all yours, but I'm here and can unmute and pop in and out as you need.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here today. It is kind of an icky Pittsburgh day, but I see students out my window bustling, getting to their first round of classes this week, and it's a good energy on campus. So thank you so much for joining me. I would love to start, before I even dive into introductions, I want to welcome you all to use the Q&A to post anything you were hoping to learn from this today so that we can revisit it towards the end and make sure that we cover any of your questions. Feel free to post chat questions in the chat at any point. And even if you have to step away, we will get these questions answered and you'll be able to refer back to the recording if needed. So with that said, feel free again to post things, any questions, but let me introduce myself. So my name is Allison Kavalukas. I am the Assistant Director for Program Operations here in the University Career Center, and we are located in the William Pitt Union. I see my window in that picture right there. And we are the entire second floor of the William Pitt Union, and we are a career center that is open to all students of the university, but I will cover and touch on how some different students have additional resources depending on their school or their major or particular program that they are in. We are a full service career center where we are providing not just one-on-one support, but even counseling and support after graduation for our new alumni who are looking for that first time placement. And we're here to really support all of your students from day one. And I want to make sure my slide's advancing here. Okay. So I want to make sure that one of your takeaways today is that there is not a student of a family member here today who couldn't come and see us today or tomorrow. There's no wait, there's no program you need to be enrolled in. You can get started day one on campus. So whether you have a new student, a transfer student, or have a graduating senior, we are here to support them. So I like to begin by clarifying that every single student on campus has an academic advisor and a career consultant. There are differences, though. Students are required to meet with their academic advisors in order to, sorry for the typo there, in order to schedule their classes, but they're not required to meet with their career consultants. But that should not stop them. We are here for them at all times, and we can be their partners whenever they're ready to start this career discussion, this career journey. And here's how we partner with students. So we help them to explore majors and how majors translate to jobs. And that may sound like the role of an academic advisor, but the academic advisor, while there is sometimes time for those conversations, the academic advisor as a priority has to make sure that that student is scheduling the classes that help them to meet their degree requirements in the time frame that they want to achieve that degree. So there isn't always time for the deeper dive into reconsidering majors or considering other options. There just isn't always time for that conversation in that scheduling appointment. So outside of that, every weekday of the calendar year, the Career Center is here and available to have those deeper conversations with students. So that is one way we can partner with your students. Another is to coach them and guide them in how to find the experiences that get them the skills they need to be qualified for what they do want to do after graduation. So that could come through internships, volunteer roles, leadership opportunities, research, co-op. It could come through any sort of channel. We're here to support any of it, regardless of what a student's field or major is. We're also, I like to point out, here to support it, whether they're looking for something part-time during the semester, something in their hometown, or something abroad. We are here to support all of it. We also provide coaching, that really wanting to help students to understand what their skills and strengths are and to be able to brand that and represent that when they have the opportunities to connect with employers, alumni, professionals of any kind. And all of that together combined helps students to be not qualified for, but capable of acquiring those really great opportunities that they're looking for. So we package all of these things together to help students to present their best selves and to make sure they're taking advantage of the resources at Pitt to become their best selves as they approach graduation. So a lot of what we do in the Career Center, and there's a new focus on this given the competitive nature of the job market, is to make sure that students are aware that they have to be competent in a number of skills, regardless of their chosen field of study. So we want students to be career ready and to be able to exhibit the competencies that employers are stressing that they are looking for not just at the entry level point, but throughout their lives in their careers. And we, as a um, career center, want students to be able to have the skills they need so that they can get a job that they like, that they're good at, and that pays a proper wage. I'm sure you want that for them as well. And it all comes back to, how are you going to survive in society? How are you going to thrive in society? And how are you going to feel like made the best investment with this time at Pitt to prepare you for all of that after graduation? So, we as a career center, as a university career center, are a member of the National Association of Colleges Employers, which is called NACE. And NACE assesses employers, I believe it's every 3 years. They do a major competency assessment across the nation with every level of employer, hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, actually. Employers evaluate the career competencies that they're looking for most in all candidates that they expect of candidates. And they're listed here. So those are career and self-development. So students or candidates wanting to grow in their careers, communication skills, critical thinking, a sense of equity and inclusion, leadership, professionalism, teamwork, and technology. So employers are expecting college graduates to have these skills regardless of what they've chosen to study and regardless of what internships they've decided to pursue or activities they gotten involved in. So we want to make sure that as we meet with students, that they are not just building on these skills with their experiences at Pitt, but becoming able to articulate them in a way that attracts employers to them as candidates and as future professionals. So, in addition to core career competencies, students can use one-on-one coaching in a lot of different ways. So I do want to start with sort of an overview of what career consulting looks like at Pitt. So in our office alone, we have 9 dedicated career consultants who each have specific portfolios of majors that they work with. So if a student wanted to schedule a one-on-one appointment, it would be very easy on our website for them to click the Find Your Consultant button to understand who they should meet with based on their major. So, and one of those is completely dedicated to working with undecided and undeclared students, whether it's changing a major or starting, hitting the ground from the beginning without an idea of what they want to do. So we have all of those dedicated consultants who are really like already ready to have an extra layer of expertise based on the field they want to go in. So we have a pre-law consultant. We have someone who works with health majors, someone who works with engineering, someone with technology, things like that. We have 3 additional consultants who are dedicated to experiential learning and helping students define whatever that first experience or those early experiences are that help them to make those career decisions. So that could be internships, it could be co-op, it could be research, it could be volunteers for the health professions, it could be clinical rotations, whatever that experiential learning might be, not just internships. We're here to support those students in finding it. And there's a big event coming up in 2 weeks that I'll touch on a little bit later. That's for any students wanting to just get started with the Career Center. It'll be a great point of entry for those internship seekers. Next, we have alumni in residence. So there are a number of Pitt alumni who volunteer their time to actually come to the Career Center and provide their professional expertise on any topic students want to talk about in one-on-one appointment settings. So students can also schedule with our alumni in residence. They're obviously not here full time, but it is easy for them to access that alumni in residence schedule and to read their profiles to find someone who might really relate well to them based on their interests or what they want to learn about. So these appointments are available both virtually and in person, and the average appointment is a 30-minute time block, but more time could be scheduled if someone needed, an intense review of an assessment or, grad school admission review, things like that. So that's all available. And we also have 20-minute drop-in appointments every single weekday. So whether a student knows exactly what they need assistance with, like a quick resume review or some brief questions about an employer they're considering, they can come to a drop-in appointment any weekday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And during the summers and university breaks, we actually offer those virtually as well. So there is access every single day for students to be able to come in and easily start the conversation even when they don't know what questions to ask. They can come and let us help them get there. So those appointments can be about choosing majors, minors, or certificates. It can be about how to gain those experiences. It can be about any document review or development. I didn't write it here, but I meant to include any sort of grad school admission documentation, talking about reference letters and how to compile those, talking about personal statements, CVs that you might need for research related experiences. So we're here to help with any of that, including support with helping students to build their networks, whether that's by extending our personal networks to them or tapping them into the really vast network of employers that we work with. So one-on-one coaching can be anything. They only really need one question or one thing they want to gain to show up, and we will get them to that next place. Some students come in as first semester freshmen and want to plot out all 4 years that they're here and what they want to do every semester and every summer. And other students casually pop in for a resume review once in a while. It really varies on the level of engagement that students have with us, but it is really catered. We cater our service that they're expecting to what their needs are. So if they do need to come in repeatedly, that's not an issue at all. They're welcome to come back as often as they like, which is the benefit of the career consulting being available and accessible and not required. It makes more availability for everyone. So in addition to that coaching, we have a lot of really great resources available to students. And if there's time later, I'll actually open up some of these websites for you to see a little bit more. But Career Central is the number one place for students to go to get everything we have to offer. Every resource is connected there. And there's also a lot of great filters on them being able to find resources that are based on their portfolio, their major, their industry interests, or their even personal affinities. So Career Central is our hub for everything that we do. It's our primary website. And it's something that the other great part of it is, for the most part, you as parents, the general public can access just about everything on Career Central as well. Not much of it is behind the firewall, not until you get to the point where you need to see extra details about an event or, to click to apply to a job that's posted there. You'll still be able to see a lot of basic information there. The second is our Career Center platform, Handshake. And some of you may have heard this before. Thousands of schools use Handshake as their platform, not just for the appointment scheduling and the event planning, but also as the primary place where employers who want to recruit Pitt students post their opportunities. So we have thousands of posts at any given time of jobs and internships both that are accessible to students. And we've seen a lot of growth, not only in the postings, but in the applications coming from Pitt students to take advantage of those. And what I like to tell students is when you come to a career consulting appointment and we want to talk about, the type of internship as an example of what you're looking for, we're going to start by looking at Handshake because it's like a filter on all the jobs of the world because these employers have already checked a box that said we want to recruit Pitt students. Um, and we value the University of Pittsburgh education. So it's a good filter on everything that's out there, but by no means is what our work limited to what is posted in Handshake. It's a starting point. It's a great starting point. It's where all of the employers who engage with us and come to our fairs post their opportunities. So it's a really great starting point, but we aren't limited to what's posted in Handshake as far as what we're going to help your students to find. I did notice, a post here of a question of whether or not the opportunities are local or, in the New York City area. We have positions all over the country. The benefit to working in Handshake is that so many schools use it that a lot of employers are posting for schools all over the country, and there are opportunities in every city. So it's really a great benefit for that. Every student has access. They don't need to have a profile to have access, but if they activate their profile and put in some details about what they're looking for and what they're interested in, or upload their resume, that algorithm will start to push out a lot more relevant information to them. So it works, just like Spotify and Netflix, where, as you start to use it, the things that interest you are going to become more relevant and pop up in your feeds. So beyond those key, really core resources, I also have to mention some other really big things that are accessible 24/7. Big Interview is, and these are the things that we're paying for, if you will. But Big Interview is a virtual mock interview platform. So any time of day or night, a student can plug in the type of interview they're preparing for, and they will get questions and then be able to record their responses to those questions and get a score back and recommendations for how to improve their responses. LinkedIn Learning can help students to learn any skill, any skill that is expected in the professional workplace, from really specific, training on how to use Excel or Power BI to the more soft skills on how to, grow as a leader, or how to have difficult conversations in the workplace, how to ask, how to negotiate salaries, things like that. So LinkedIn Learning is something that all Pitt students, faculty, and staff have access to. It's very expensive, so they should take advantage of it and use it while it's being paid for, instead of waiting to need some of those supports after graduation when they no longer have access. Science is a remarkable assessment tool that we use to help students who are undecided and undeclared to understand where their personal strengths and preferences align with careers and academic choices. So it's a really terrific assessment. Students actually get a one-on-one review of their results and then continued access to those results if they take the assessment. And it's really, really a valuable and powerful tool. Pitt Commons, if anyone here is an alum or a graduate of the University of Pittsburgh, Pitt Commons is a place where alumni can have profiles and express how they're willing to help with and connect with students and support their networking, or even, going a step farther and offering mentoring to students in with specific interests. So that is a really great platform where alumni have a chance to engage, but students have a great opportunity to learn with people who've been in a similar place as them. What can I do with this major is a really powerful tool for academic exploration and how it's connected to careers. And Inner Stride is a resource that the institution provides to help both international students seeking opportunities domestically and any students looking for opportunities abroad. It's a really powerful tool that actually just doubled in strength in the past year with a great merger they had with Going Global. So these are available to students on the Career Central website, where they can get directly into them anytime. But as a career center, we obviously have events too. And you'll see that we do smaller scale things like workshops, which we, to some degree offer right here in the Career Center. But anytime we're invited or have the opportunity, we will take it on the road. We'll take them into classrooms. If one of your students is a part of an organization or an honor society and they want a career program, they can easily request us to bring these topics to them in their spaces anytime. We have not just all of our career consultants, but a really great team of peer career coaches, of student workers who love to go out and present this content. So we have topics that we cover anything you can imagine. This is just sort of the tip of the iceberg, but self-assessment, resumes, cover letters, personal branding, getting ready for fairs or networking events, elevator pitches, interviewing, all of that stuff is what we can cover in our workshops. We have a series that starts this Friday, a two-part series with hot lunches that is all about that self-assessment and taking the U Science and then doing group result review as a two-part series that starts this Friday. And students got emails about it yesterday and today. Every last undeclared student got an email about that, so that's accessible to them if they're considering a change. And then for our bigger events that include employer and alumni engagement, we obviously have career and internship fairs that are main events. Our most signature fairs happen in September and February every year. And then at the start of the term, we'll have student employment fairs for those opportunities that are either on campus jobs, work study jobs, or things that are just in walking distance to campus, close proximity for part-time work that students might want to do just to make some extra money. And then there's a similar fair that happens in late in the spring to open up opportunities to students who want to be in the Pittsburgh area for the summer. So temporary employment, internships, and things like that that are very local to Pittsburgh. Those are the only two things that I would say are exclusively local to Pittsburgh. Everything else is, tapping into opportunities nationwide. Networking events are offered for specific portfolios of students. We have a major networking event happening next week where we bring in alumni, employers, and professionals to talk about their fields and how they got there and give students an opportunity to sort of hear in a panel format what it is they want, and then they get one-on-one networking time after that. So it's really great, semi-formal, I would say, sort of a business casual opportunity for students to start professional conversations if they haven't had a chance to do that yet. I like to tell students that one of the best places where they can start uh, their professional networking, my two favorite groups of people that students can start their professional networking with are their parents' friends and their friends' parents. So all these people who will go to bat for you and do anything you really are looking to get answers about for an industry or a career or a company, if you have parents' friends or friends' parents who have access to that, they're going to share that information with you or make a connection for you. And it's a really great soft place to start before you dive into networking events, but the networking events are here just the same to help students to really connect to people in the fields that they're interested in. Internship week is something I'll talk about in just a few moments. Our biggest experiential learning series of events happens every January in 2 weeks. Alumni and residents offer workshops as well. And then we have opportunities to meet with employers. Sometimes they host information sessions on campus, but they also will offer site visits where we take a group of students to go the facility for maybe a half day on a Friday where they get to actually see things, maybe have a panel of alumni that work there they get to talk to, get to do a hands-on experience. Those are really terrific. So those tend to happen on Fridays in the spring and fall semesters. And then we do a similar version of that called Shadow in Your City in a variety of cities where Pitt students tend to land, generally New York, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. at a minimum in May, right after classes end. So promotion on those things will start to get really build up around the return from spring break. Now, I want to feature some things that are happening right now in the moment, that are takeaways that you can share with your students right now and take a screenshot and say, did you know about this? And this first is our Career Prep Academy. So, this was on our list of workshops, but this is actually our one workshop series. It's an 8-part series that students sign on to in one of 3 levels. So, our earlier students are probably going to start with level 1, but upper class students or students with some experiences already are probably going to start at a higher level where they get to really engage with all of these resources in a more hands-on way, in a more custom and personalized way in a small group setting. So the Career Prep Academy is free for students to participate in, and students who complete the Career Prep Academy actually earn a $200 stipend, which is fantastic. I want to correct myself. I'm not sure if it's a stipend or a big book award, but it's $200 that they get upon completing the program, in addition to a really terrific professional networking opportunity at the close of the program, which is a really great reception to bring closure to that, all of that great learning and bring the small cohorts together into one big space. So, Career Prep Academy registration for the spring semester launched today. It's available on our website. It is in email newsletters going out to students this morning. While this originally was created to be restricted for students who had demonstrated financial need or were underrepresented, it now we have the good fortune of it being actually open to all students, all undergraduate students. So if any students have questions about it, you're welcome to email me and I can redirect them. But this website right here is the place to go to learn more about it. Next week is our first networking event of the semester. Our networking events are called the Link Up. Um, and this particular networking event is geared towards students interested in the fields of public service and government work and nonprofit opportunities. So we have, I believe, 18 or 19 alumni coming to be there and serve as networkers. And students can go to this website and see the complete list of all the organizations that'll be represented so they can prepare, and if they care to do a little bit of advanced research before the event starts. And there will be plenty of staff there to help with and provide samples of questions that students might need or want to help get that conversation started. But I assure you, the alumni who come to these events tend to be really, really great at having those conversations and getting the conversation flowing in the event that students might feel a little bit intimidated. It's a really great place for students to start their networking journey a little bit more officially. And then the following week, January 26th to the 29th, this is huge. Hopefully, all of you mark these dates down or talk to your students about which internship week events are you going to go to. We don't expect anyone to go to all of them. It's not built that way, but every day there's something available to students. So on Monday, the different topics, which are a combination of workshops and panels with alumni, staff, and students, they're all about really exploring your options and understanding what options might be best suited for you. On Tuesday, the opportunities are all about connecting and how to really grow your network strategically. And then on Thursday, the events are about achieving your goals. So, and it ends with a really fun escape room event tying everything together. And there's really great prizes, including a Nintendo Switch, which hopefully isn't too distracting for a student who wins it. But really great opportunities, which also engages employers. And on Career Central, you can actually see the different companies that will be represented at these panels. And that information is being pushed out to students multiple times before the week kicks off on January 26th. But this is a really great series of events, and it's generally planned to be in January because it's a time when students are starting to think about their summer opportunities if they haven't already secured them. And it's also a couple of weeks before the big career and internship fair, and a lot of tips they'll gain from internship week will really help them to prepare for the employers they're going to be meeting at the fair. Which leads us to the February fairs. So this is one of our signature events. The Spring Career and Internship Fair will have anywhere from 150 to 180 employers, and those employers are broken down by three specific days. One dedicated for engineering, one computing information and analytics, more technology based. And then on the 19th, we have arts and sciences, nonprofit, and public service, which includes a lot of our healthcare opportunities as well. So students, this is a dress to impress event. We do expect students to dress professionally for the career fairs, and we do expect them to come with resumes in hand and be ready to make great introductions of themselves. And to take advantage of that, we have a LinkedIn photo booth. So since they're already dressed up and looking good, we can take their picture while they're there. So they have it in their phone to update their profile. We have drop-in hours accessible and open during the fairs in case a student wants help with making a last-minute change. We have a coat and bag check so they don't have to deal with all of their winter attire when they come in. We make it really fluid and very easy for students to navigate this space. If you happen to have a student who is a business student or interested in business careers, I don't have a slide here for it, but the College of Business, the School of Business also has a fair day dedicated to business opportunities, but open to all students at the university on the last day of internship week, on Friday, the 30th of January. That is very similar, but located at the University Club in the William Pitt Union. So all of the information about all of these fairs and the employers attending can be found in the fair link in Handshake. And a lot of publicity will come out as we get into February, so students understand not just where to go, but how to prepare. And speaking of preparing for the fairs, we like to make sure that students have the opportunity to dress their best. So we have three different things going on to help students with attire. One is a J.C. Penney sponsored event that happens at Robinson Mall. And at Robinson Mall, they get significant discounts. It says up to 30% off, but I've experienced it being much deeper than that, especially on the professional attire. And that takes place on Sunday afternoon, February 1st. And fortunately, that's not going to be in conflict with the Steelers game. Sadly, uh, but that is accessible by a direct bus. The 28X that also goes to the airport goes directly there and back, so students don't need to transfer if they do want to, go with a group of friends and go out to Robinson Mall and take advantage of those discounts. We also have a virtual career closet, which is located on our website. And it's actually powered by My Career Closet and Rent the Runway. And students can pay a flat $60 fee to get a box of up to 6 items. And they get to, have a say in the types of attire they're looking for. It might end up being 2 full outfits that they get to keep for 30 days before they send it back. And that 30 days is really great because there could be on-campus interviews and or networking opportunities with employers right after the fairs. So we encourage students to shop the virtual career closet early. And students with demonstrated financial need also have the ability to get vouchers, and the website will direct them on how to request those vouchers if indeed that's requested. We are excited to be able to honor that through Strata funding. So those are two ways, and there is rumored to be another opportunity for a women's apparel nonprofit to provide opportunities for women's apparel to be provided free of charge in the week leading up to the fair. And we're awaiting those final details, but it'll be included in all of the career fair preparation communications as we move forward into February. And we don't host a fair without making sure that students have every opportunity to be ready for it. So there are multiple opportunities for students to get their resumes reviewed. On the first 3 dates are days where we also get employers and recruiters to come in and review resumes. So they are specific to tech recruiters coming in on February 10th. On February 11th, we have engineering recruiters coming in and actually hosting that in the engineering building in Benedum Hall. And on the 12th, Resumania is our big event that we host right here in the Career Center. And we'll probably have, up to 15 different organizations represented throughout the day to review resumes. And we review upwards of 400 resumes in one day generally. And it's a really exciting and fun time with food and snacks and really giving students lots of opportunities to get their career fair questions answered as well. So, right here in their Career Center. But I'd like to also remind students that we review resumes every single day. Resumania is for that fair preparation and that quick last look, but students can come into a drop in appointment any day of the semester to get a resume review, no matter what it's for, whether it's for a job, an internship, or it could be for a scholarship or an honor society application. We just went through a big round of helping students with their resident assistant applications in the fall. And there's no doubt that in January, we'll be helping students with their resumes for their study abroad applications as well. So we support all of it, no matter what we can do to help students build those skills and represent them. And then I like to mention this is near and dear to my heart, but I do like to talk about our postgrad success rates and our outcomes. So the most recent published findings are for the class of 2024, which would include August and December 2023 graduates and April 2024 graduates. We just closed data collection on the class of 2025, and we're seeing similar success, but I can't report the numbers right now. So I want to point out that we had, as for the class of 2024, a 96.3% successful outcomes rate. And those successful outcomes include people who reported or that we were able to identify that were working, continuing their education, active military, or volunteering in a program, like the Peace Corps or an organized volunteer program. 96.3% is remarkable and fantastic. And I'm happy to say that as long as I've been at the University of Pittsburgh as an employee, we've been over at 94% or above. So this isn't new. This isn't an anomaly. We are consistently this high. And yes, cheers for that. So you can be, hopefully this was a selling point for you at the point of helping your student to decide to attend here, but it's fantastic. And as you'll see, it's also 10.6% higher than the national average for bachelor's degrees. And that is according to data from the National Association of Colleges and Employers, who collects everyone's results. You'll also see that this was based on information from 83% of the class with, close to 5,000 students graduating the class. We had information for 83% of them, and that's fantastic. The national average was 55% for that knowledge rate. And it comes from a combination of students reporting and surveys that we do leading up to graduation, at graduation, after graduation, for 6 months after graduation, but also finding the information valid through faculty, through LinkedIn, and other ways where it may be posted online somewhere. So we are really excited and proud of this. We want you to feel motivated by it. We can't claim that the Career Center is 100% responsible for it. A lot of it is just that you have fantastic students who have wonderful skills and a great ability to present them to people who are looking for them and to make that match. But anywhere that the Career Center can support your students to get to this and to grow this and to find them, help them to find what it is they're looking for and get them started on the path they're pursuing early. We are here for it and we are excited to support it. So my final slide is just information about the Career Center that and my contact information if we have it. But I do want to look at the questions that we had to make sure I covered everything. So students can have multiple appointments in a semester. They cannot have multiple appointments in a day. So they could come in every day this week. They just can't come twice in one day. So absolutely, there's no restriction outside of once a day for appointments. There are internship week events throughout the week. No students are expected to attend all of them, but they're going to be able to find something between classes. If there's something that interests them a lot, they can reach out to the contact that for that event to see if there are handouts or things like that that are provided. They'll be able to share that with them after the event. The Business Career Fair is generally the last Friday in, sorry, Siri, I'm not talking to you. The business career fair is generally the last Friday in January. So, yes, it's not during the same week as our spring career fair, but it is the same level of event. And it just happens to be a little bit earlier and located at the University Club. I also see the question here on how students can find who their career consultant is. So I'm going to get out of this slide deck and hope that you are still able to see. Summer, let me know if you can't see this. But this is the Career Central website, and the button at the very top is a link to find your consultant. And this is a page that's accessible everywhere, and we push it out in a lot of newsletters as well. But this is a page where students can search by their major, or it could be their department, depending on some things aren't broken down so specifically, to open up and just say communication is one. They'll open it up, and when they get there, they see who the career consultant is for that, the different majors that that person works with, and then a link right here that'll take them into Handshake to schedule that appointment. If they don't find this website and they aren't here first and they go right into Handshake, luckily it will restrict that they can only see things based on the field, the school that they're in, and then they'll see descriptions of these things as well once they get in there. So they'll get to see it either way, but this is a great place for them to explore. So our career consultants include Carol Balk, who works with the College of General Studies, veteran and non-traditional populations, plus the entire portfolio of psychology. Alex Ball is our pre-law advisor and works with political science, history, philosophy, things like that. Ingrid Butte works with she splits our tech and engineering platform with Ashley Steffi over here. Gabby and Tatiana are two of our internship consultants. Alyssa is our undecided senior career consultant. She works with all undecided students. And in the interim is actually covering for some of our tech fields as well. Raquel Montalvo Perez is our career consultant exclusively for NCAA student athletes. And Aaron Wheeler works with a lot of the liberal arts and sciences and pre-business students. Let me see, I think that's everybody. And then we have Ryan, who is our associate director, who supports the career consultants and also sees health rehab sciences and nursing. And Renew Kirk is the assistant director who rounds out the experiential learning team, supporting undergrads there. So I hope that answers the question on where to find your consultant. It's the Find Your Consultant button at careercentral.pitt.edu. But with that, I'm happy to answer any other questions that people may have. I will stick around if you want to post them in the Q&A. I'm happy to answer that. Otherwise, please explore Career Central and share it with your students and tell them we are excited to meet them, and we can't help them if we don't get to meet them. So send them to us. Our doors are open. Thank you.
Allison, thank you so much. That was
You're
so
welcome.
much information. It's always a reminder of just how busy the Career Center is. There's so
Always.
many.
Yes,
uh, Hopefully you get a voice break after this because that was a ton of information.
I do.
Wonderful. I don't think there's anything else in
Mhm.
the Q&A. There was still a lingering question. I know that you answered it, but want to make sure about internship options only local, or are there any in the New York City area? I know you talked about shadow in your city
Mhm.
and internships being available all around the country, but wanted to just make sure I highlighted that one for Lori.
Absolutely. We help students looking everywhere. New York City, Philadelphia, and DC are where students um, tend to land the most when they're looking outside of Pennsylvania or outside of the Pittsburgh area. But we do have a lot of students, not just located in New York to begin with, but pursuing those opportunities and securing them.
Wonderful.
Mhm. Okay.
Any last questions? Put them in the Q&A. We did get a few questions about the slide deck. If you
Mhm.
email parents with an S, parents at pitt.edu, and just request the slide deck, I'll make sure that I get it from Allison and we'll send it your way.
Okay, great. Super.
Wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording then. The Q&A is still open. We'll leave it open for about another minute if you think of something.